So it's been a minute here. We haven't done a show in a very long time here. It's been 2 months since we last done a show. I apologize to all our loyal listeners out there, all three of you. Off the Turnbuckle is back here. We found Tim Grattan, and he fell down some wishing well down in the state the state of Virginia, but we found him. I think he's been brainwashed because currently he's wearing a University of Kansas hoodie. Yep, outed you. Tim, welcome back. How do you feel?
Wow. You outed me for wearing a Kansas Jayhawk hoodie as I was in a rabbit hole here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of South Virginia. And we are back. It feels great talking about the sport of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Once again. The Turnbuckle.
That's right, Tim. Happy to be back with you.
I almost said our
Don't even bring it up. Don't do it. Don't do it. You can be like Jim Ross and call Kenny Omega the WWE champion. Man, I could heat or what?
No, I would have called him the WWF champion. Oh, I got super.
I mean, who? Honestly,
see, like,
who cares? Who cares? He worked for a company for 22 years. Okay, who cares? And there's been all this. There's a page I'm on. All this heat lately about he shouldn't even be calling. He's the worst commentator in pro wrestling. They should have him do behind the scenes stuff. Like, listen here, okay, JR can still go, and just because he doesn't like certain things, it doesn't make him a bad broadcaster. But whatever.
No,
who cares?
Jim Ross is
make
a legend.
Mistakes. They make mistakes. It happens all the time, people.
Right, like, and plus, like, Jim Ross is a pro wrestling announcer legend. Like, it's trying to tell Tom Hamilton, the voice of the Indians, to shut up during an Indians podcast. It's like, you don't do that. That's like, it's ludicrous to think that people are going to give Jim Ross crap for having a mess, and it happens all the time. I mean, we both work in television. There's mistakes. People aren't perfect.
So many.
Well, unless you're Mr. Perfect, but unless you're the former two-time Intercontinental Champion, Mr. Perfect.
Only 2 times. I felt like you should have had it more.
You and I agreed on that one.
So there's been a lot of stuff going on in the last 2 months. I want to start this show. We will be focusing on the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that occurred on February 21st, 2021. It's our first show of 2021. I had planned on us doing a big Royal Rumble show, right? A big Royal Rumble show because it's the Royal Rumble. It's maybe my favorite pay-per-view of the year. It's a lot of people because I think a lot of people like the Rumble over other pay-per-view. I mean, obviously WrestleMania is the one show you always want to see what they're doing, but the Rumble's like the pro wrestling could not be going well, right? And people would be wanting to see what the Royal Rumble's doing. It's a Royal Rumble. My buddy in Alabama and my other friend who lives out in a suburb of Cleveland, we all checked it out. Virtually socially distanced, of course. But we all checked it out, and it was fun. It was fun to watch. It's Royal Rumble. So I wanted to do a show about that, but Tim had to go get water for the old man, and he never came out of his house.
Yeah,
okay,
and
you're gonna make it.
That someone became a. Someone.
I see you're sitting down. Okay, now that's good.
Yeah, I'm at least breathing. It wasn't probably like a month ago where someone thought he was on his deathbed. But hey, you know what? I'm back.
Quick things that happened there. Drew McIntyre defeats Bill Goldberg, which I found shocking. As soon as I heard Goldberg was coming back, I figured, Drew's about to lose the title. Didn't happen that night. You had Roman Reigns defeat Kevin Owens in a last man standing match. A match that had a botch involved because they couldn't get the handcuffs off Roman Reigns in time. And then the Royal Rumble winner for the men's, Edge, coming out number 1, wins the Royal Rumble. only second man ever to accomplish that feat. So those are your three big winners of the Royal Rumble match. And going into the show, still a little bit of mystique on who Edge wanted to face. That was kind of going in. He says, "Oh, there's 13 potential opponents. There's Drew and the field he's facing, and there's all the guys that Roman could be facing tonight." Because the gimmick with the Universal title was the SmackDown was going to have a Elimination Chamber match. Winner would face Roman Reigns later that night. Before we get into that, I talk about the WWE Network and all the pay-per-views that they have put on. Tim, I feel like what I'm about to tell you is going to be new news to you. You're going to be hearing this for the first time, but on March 18th, which is, a few weeks away, I think it's right before the next pay-per-view actually happens, the Peacock TV network will become the exclusive home of the WWE Network. It will begin a rollout of more than 17,000 hours of WWE Network, new and original library, programming, both on demand and a new 24-hour channel. So if you live in the United States, which, we do, come March 18th, Peacock TV
Allegedly.
will be where you go to watch WWE pay-per-views. You had not heard this.
I have not, because someone's been living in a rabbit hole for about a month and a half. So does that mean I have to cancel? So I have the hashtag WWE cancel network movement that's finally going to be a thing now?
I'm not sure how that's all going to work out. I do know this could potentially save you money because you can now get it for $5 instead of $10. Although if you want to get like a ad-free version of it, I think you spend the $10. It's like a 5-year deal.
Peacock and wrestling.
Yeah, you either way you're going to get some more bang for your buck, I suppose. I'm trying to get the official numbers. I thought I had everything in front of me. I do not. But it's like a 5-year deal that they're agreeing to let them host this. And when you hear stuff like this, the rumblings are, is he ever going to sell the WWE like to NBC and Universal? I mean, this is a lot. I'm trying to find the numbers here, but let's just say the number started with a B. Put it that way. It's a pretty good deal. You think about the deals they've pulled over the past couple of years now. You got the big Fox deal where they got SmackDown on Fox, and then you got this. They're gonna be hosting the network now on their streaming platform. I think you're gonna get more entertainment if you're really into the Universal product. And the theory is, maybe the app works better than WWE app because their app kind of falters at times, which I won't dispute. I know there's some people who can't even freaking watch it because the WWE Network only streams it pure 1080. If you don't get it, if you can't get it, doesn't like. If your internet speed's like not as quick because you live in the sticks, sometimes you can't keep up. You really can't utilize it. So we'll see if that changes.
because I know there's sometimes for my internet here in Virginia where you can't, you can watch stuff and then it'll just buffer on you, and then you just say, F it and stop watching. Because that happened to me during the Royal Rumble where I was actually watching and it just crashed out on me. So I just said, screw it. I guess I'll just watch it later. And then, hey, guess who had the virus?
Oh. I didn't realize we were talking about that, but okay. Go ahead.
I became a statistic, Steve. I became a statistic, Steven.
Congratulations, you have the antibodies. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Well, I mean, I got 2 weeks off of work, so it was a good thing. But anyways, but yeah, So we're back talking wrestling again, and we're on the road to WrestleMania.
Road to WrestleMania.
I just feel like Steve. Yeah, a 2-night event, and like Steve, I just feel like there's just no buzz going in this year's WrestleMania. I mean, probably because like there's no fans in the stands. There's,
there will be.
Oh, thank goodness.
There will be.
I just feel like
they're gonna follow the Super Bowl model, there, pal.
And like, I just feel like there's just really no hot storyline going into WrestleMania this year.
Well, we're still
I'm just like, I know we still got ways to go. I mean,
why don't we break down this pay-per-view and you tell me if there's anything looking decent on your end when the show is up.
All right,
let's try that.
Let's break this down.
Granted, you still have Fastlane, which will be on the 21st. WrestleMania will be about a week later than usual this year. Let me get my calendar real quick just to verify the 100% date there. It's actually going to be on the weekend of April 10 and 11 this year. It's not that first weekend of April like it normally is. I'm not sure why that was, but that was what they
late
did.
Start this year.
It will be another 2-night event, which is starting to make me concerned about the future if that's the way they're going to do this moving forward. Like, I guess it has its pros and its cons. If you're going to have it to be like a freaking 6 or 7 hour show, maybe it's better for the people at home to watch over 2 nights. But even then, that's tough. That's tough on anyone that's to split into 2 nights. But then again, on the people there, it's like, oh, at least you don't have to worry about them sitting there for 7 straight hours. But then, okay, I've spent the money to get into WrestleMania. I want to see the whole freaking thing. That's a debate we can definitely dive into in the future, though. But I understand when they did it last year. This year, it just comes down to there's just too much stuff on these shows. It's too much. Too much.
Right. They're trying to. It's like they're trying to put 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. And, you know, I remember.
Where do you get the 5-pound bags?
Bags R Us. 7 locations across Southwest Virginia, by the way.
You can't use that joke.
Oh, that's right. Now we're probably gonna get yelled at by your best friend, your new best friend, Eazy-E, because he left you 2 voicemails. Because I had to put the kids to bed.
Why are we bringing that up? First of all, it's not his joke. Secondly, what the hell? That was supposed to be an inside joke. Ha ha. Let's move on. Ha ha. Anyway,
go ahead. Well, we're gonna talk about Elimination Chamber now.
Make this so freaking awkward. We got a pre-show match here. Something's going on with Keith Lee, so he was pulled from the triple threat match to take on a God dang it! He was pulled from the triple threat match for the United States Championship match. It was going to feature Keith Lee, Riddle, and the United States Champion Bobby Lashley. So Lee is taken out of this match, some undisclosed injury. The reason why he wasn't in the Rumble was because he was exposed to what's her name? Maya something. She's the Reckoning in that group. Lord. Ali's group.
Rebellion or
Retribution.
Whatever the hell.
Mia Yim is her name. Mia Yim is her name. And I think the belief is that her and Keith Lee are in a relationship. So I think they pulled him out as precautionary for the Rumble. So 2 pay-per-views in a row he misses out on, and they have this just qualifying fatal 4-way match between John Morrison, Elias, Mustafa Ali, and Ricochet. And this match was actually, I didn't mind it at all. John Morrison picks up the victory. 7 minutes, 10 seconds, and Morrison will be in the triple threat match. Great. I enjoy what he's doing with Miz, but I also enjoy the improvements to the ring that Morrison has made since he's left WWE. He's been all over the world since he left them all those years ago, and I'd like to see more of him in the ring, personally. So I thought it was a good match.
It was an outstanding matchup to kick off.
Okay, let's move on to the actual card
February
here.
Pay-per-view leading into WrestleMania.
Don't patronize me. We got a SmackDown Live. Well, it's not SmackDown Live anymore. A SmackDown Elimination Chamber match where the gimmick was winner of this match will face Roman Reigns later in the night. God, I saw this shit coming a mile away. I'll get to that in a minute. Daniel Bryan taking on Cesaro, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, who's faced Roman about 3 times for the championship lately, King Corbin, and Sami Zayn. This match goes about 34 minutes, 20 seconds, the longest match of the night. And this match had everything you wanted in it. You had Sami Zayn doing the chicken shit heel stuff. You have Kevin Owens, who just wants to get in there and take care of stuff. And you got Daniel Bryan and Cesaro starting off the match, as they should, and just putting on a freaking clinic. You have some pretty cool spots in here, like Sammy's trying to run away. He's got this whole documentary crew that comes out with him now, and they were told they had to leave. For the first time in the history of anything, a match that involves the cage, but we're going to tell you can't be out here. This is one of the pet peeves I have with WWE. Is you make up your own rules on when you're going to allow certain things, and to me, this one didn't make a lot of sense. I don't see what kind of harm they're doing other than it's going to get Sammy upset. Oh, because the reason he's got this documentary crew is he's on this whole conspiracy character, Tim. So he's very upset about that. He finally gets in the cage. It's a whole, oh, I don't want to come out. And Cesaro's beating the crap out of him. He's swinging him back and forth. You know, it's a lot of fun there. We have King Corbin doing King Corbin things, being a heel, right? Kevin Owens at one point gets his arm like slammed shut inside one of the pods by Uso. I mean, your final 3 here is Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Uso. And Daniel Bryan comes out with the victory here. I believe, just off the top of my head, this is his 3rd chamber win. So Daniel Bryan, over the course of time, it was his 3rd chamber win. I know one other time he at least came down in the final 2, back when they were doing the whole build of WrestleMania that year, where he came up short because for some reason Corporate Kane was in the chamber for some reason. Even though he wasn't in the match.
Bryan for not winning.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, but the point is, this guy, Nate, I was talking with a friend the other day, like, when you think about some of these matches, like, signature matches, you think of a certain guy. When you think of Hell in a Cell, you think of The Undertaker. When I think of like a last man standing match, I think of John Cena. Or I Quit match, I think of John Cena, guys like that. The Elimination Chamber match, I think, because of around the time they brought it in and how much this guy was just so great in matches, I think of Triple H. But, Daniel Bryan is creeping up there. 3 wins, and he's been in quite a bit of them. He is excellent in these matches. And Daniel Bryan wins the championship match later in the show. Or so they say. And I was talking to a friend. So, Roman Reigns being the heel, he's probably going to come right after this match is up saying you have no time to rest. Now, I've heard a lot of people criticize this move, saying, oh, well, Paul Heyman should have said you got 30 minutes or I'll see you later on. So that's going to make me look strong. No, it's not about making Roman look strong at this point. We're beyond that. This is about Roman Reigns just piling up wins. It doesn't matter how. And if he takes a cheap way out, who cares? Because 1, 2, 3 together, he's a heel. Right, Tim?
Yeah, he is a heel.
He wins with the choke, less than 2 minutes on Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns, still your champion, going into Fastlane. After the match, and one of the things I do enjoy about the Thunderdome is you are not getting the whole over-the-top reaction because someone's coming down or someone's in the ring and you can't see him. But this shot they did with Roman's posing up there with the belt, it went a little wide, it stayed there too long. I'm like, Edge is there. He's on their side. They have him cropped out. He's there. He turns, boom, gets hit with the spear. Edge goes nuts, points at the sign. Pyro's going up. So pretty much how we thought this was going to go the whole time. At least I thought. Edge and Roman Reigns, your quote-unquote main event, because Edge has said it 17 times since he's won the Rumble, will be Edge, Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, Battle of the Spear. You like that? How you like me now?
Love it.
No, I think of all the potential guys you could have Edge work with at WrestleMania for a championship match, that's probably the best match on paper. And I'm sure those guys are going to put together a good match. Truly. And I will be pulling for Edge because why not? Didn't think he was going to be wrestling ever again. This is great.
Right. It's one of those great comeback stories that, a guy that had to retire due to serious neck injuries, 10 years ago, and he's back in the ring competing, and who's in great shape, by the way. Like, he looks phenomenal. I think he looks in better shape now than when he was wrestling.
Well, yeah, he was doing some really good workouts, keeping himself in shape. He was trying to do acting roles, and I know he was on Sheamus's Celtic Warrior YouTube channel that he does. The guy is just, he looks to be in great shape. He's kept his body in shape as he's 47 years old. And everyone knows the older you get, the harder it is to keep your body looking as good as you possibly can. I was telling someone the other day, like, when I first started watching the WWF on a regular basis, that's when Edge debuted. So I kind of feel like I've come on this journey with him. He's been there with me since the beginning, or I've been there with him since the beginning. And he's had a great run. And, to see what happened last year. Actually, a friend of the show, John Langley, went to the WrestleMania where Edge had his last match, which we thought was his last match 10 years ago. And he even said, it's great to see him still wrestling. So, I don't know how much I don't know what the plans were going to be for him, last year, pre-pandemic, when they brought him back. It's really hard to say how long they were planning and what he was going to do. But he's made it very clear that he wants to end his career on his terms. I don't think it's going to be as predictable as, he's going to win the title and retire. I don't think they're going to go that route. I'm not convinced this is his last match. He'll probably end up in, I think he's going to, I don't know. I think only he knows what he wants to do. Maybe him and Vince, that's it. But it would seem very interesting if they're going to bring him back. He wins the Royal Rumble, which I thought was great. I thought was the right call. And, I might as well bring it up now. The freaking Rumble match was probably as perfect as it could have been. You watched the Rumble, right, Tim?
Yes, I did.
Edge and Randy are 1 and 2. We know these guys are wanting to rip each other's heads off. Edge injures Randy, and Randy goes away. We have seen this story a million times in pro wrestling. The other guy that you're not thinking about comes back. When's he going to come back? He's going to get back in the ring, right? We understand that, right?
Right.
The final sequence where they get Edge eliminates where they believe this last guy. I think it was Seth Rollins at the time. And it's like I'm thinking in the back of my mind, okay, when's he coming back? When's he coming back? And literally, once again, because there's no crowd, you can pull this stuff off. No one knows he's behind Edge, probably, and Rollins probably for like a minute just waiting. Because boom, as soon as Edge turns, RKO, and then after the RKO, he tries to throw him over the top rope. Edge reverses it, throws him. Because everyone's like, oh no, they're gonna give it to Randy. No, then they got us. Perfect ending to a Royal Rumble. Perfect sequence. It wasn't the over the top. Oh, we're gonna stay in the ring apron for 4 minutes, and we're gonna. It was perfect. I loved it. It was best Rumble ending in years, in my opinion.
It was a really good Rumble ending, and the fact that you had that shocking moment where you're thinking, oh, here we go. Randy Orton's going to win the Royal Rumble. And then, Edge wins. I didn't see that coming. I did not. When I saw Edge came out, I'm like, all right, There's no way this dude's going to win the Royal Rumble. Like, no way. He's just going to be there, make an appearance. Hi, hello, I'm Edge, I'm back. And then all of a sudden he wins it. And I think it's pretty phenomenal.
Well, when he cut that promo on Monday night beforehand, said, I'm going to win the Rumble, I'm going to win my title I never lost back, I was said, that's my pick. And I know the other popular pick was Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan was the other really popular pick, and I don't remember if there's any other really top ones, but I was committed to to Edge winning the Rumble. I'm like, they're going to have him win the Rumble. When he comes out one, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And he hung in there. He held his own the whole time. So great conditioning by him. So that sets up that match. They're officially going the road to WrestleMania. So I don't know if Roman's going to defend the title anymore or what. I mean, he's not full Brock Lesnar mode. Like, he's been defending his title at all these shows and even one TV show. So we'll see. Let's just move on.
Is it the virtual road to WrestleMania since we're doing everything virtually nowadays?
United States Championship is up next. Bobby Lashley taking on John Morrison and Riddle. Riddle is going to get the victory here as he's going to pin John Morrison. 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Riddle is your United States champion, bro.
Didn't see it coming, bro. I thought Lashley was going to retain his title and still be the dominant badass that he is. But, hey, it's great for a little guy to finally win a championship. Congratulations.
This has been building for some time ever since he got the Raw. He's been messing with the Hurt Business and Bobby Lashley. And I guess they just didn't want to have Bobby Lashley take the pin. And we'll see more on that later. Riddle, I think, good for him. He gets a shot at the title. Hold the mid-card title here. That's good for him. Let's just breeze to this next match because it was god-awful. Nia Jax and Shayna Basler defeat Bianca Belaire and Sasha Banks for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Say what you want about Nia Jax right now. I really don't feel like getting into there. My whole argument on them is that this is not been good wrestling lately. 9 minutes, 35 seconds. Also, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belaire. Of course, Bianca Belaire won the Women's Royal Rumble coming out number 3. She has since declared that she would like to challenge Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship at the WrestleMania this year. Great.
So you're saying this match went 8 minutes and 30 seconds too long. Nice. Because I tend to agree. This match was way too long. I had no interest in watching it.
Shayna Baszler's talents are being wasted by pairing her with Nia Jax. And
she's not
Shayna Baszler comes in to this main roster last year with so much steam, freaking bites Becky Lynch's neck off, face full of blood, edgy, looks different. We know her background and her MMA background. She's a freaking badass. She's probably the biggest badass on the women's roster. And I would argue, even when freaking Ronda Rousey was there, I would say she can hold her own against Ronda Rousey. I bet you. But her talents are just being completely wasted by doing all these matches with Nia Jax. Nia Jax is just not a good wrestler. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to have a job, but holy crap, every time she comes out, I lose interest. I wish I could say that she was the worst storyline going on in the women's division right now. I can't say that.
You can't. No, I agree because it's just not good. All right, let's move on to the next match.
Here's your main event. WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre will defend against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, and Sheamus. What made this one different was this was a WWE Championship match for in the Chamber, filled with all former WWE champions. Drew McIntyre is going to win this match. He's going to outlast the field here. Goes 31 minutes and 10 seconds. I thought Sheamus was going to win this match. I thought the turn they did, the timing was a little off. I didn't see it coming. And I thought him coming in the chamber last. He pins Drew McIntyre on Raw to get that last spot. I thought the way they're going into this thing was Sheamus is going to take the title away from him, and Drew is going to be chasing Sheamus for the title at Mania, which I thought would have been a very, very good second world title match. But McIntyre outlasts her, but he catches AJ Styles with a Claymore as he's going for the phenomenal forearm. They timed it perfectly for the finish here. It did something also that was different. Randy Orton gets pinned prematurely, very, very quickly by Kofi, I believe. And then after he RKOs like everyone that's in the ring, almost, who is this big, it's like 7'3" giant that AJ Styles is coming out with, he rips out the protective plexiglass from behind AJ Styles so he can sneak in and try to get some quick pinfalls, and it doesn't work. So he comes in well before he's supposed to come in. It was a different spot, I guess. You've never really seen someone try to or be able to get in to the match sooner than they're supposed to. So that was different. You had so many of these matches at this point. I almost wonder if you just need to get to a point where you're only doing one of these a show. You know, they've already dumbed down the Elimination Chamber anyway, where it's not all the steel grates on the outside anymore, but now it's like padded. And I mean, I didn't hate this match. The first one was probably better, but it was nice to see Drew McIntyre be able to get a signature win in the Elimination Chamber. After the match is over, the winning champion, Drew McIntyre, is attacked from behind by Bobby Lashley, absolutely obliterated. Out comes The Miz. He cashes in his Money in the Bank contract. 31 seconds later, The Miz from Cleveland is the WWE champion 10 years apart. He is champion again. And I'm looking forward to you're talking about buzz. You're looking for a hot storyline that's going to captivate our audience. So I can see it now. At WrestleMania, The Miz defending the WWE Championship against Bad Bunny.
Oh, you would have to drop.
You don't think they don't have the balls to do something like that? Because I think they do.
I mean, they almost did a WrestleMania featuring Doink the Clown as their top freaking performer back in the early 90s. So if they seriously do that, Steve, I will throw my laptop out my apartment complex.
No, you won't.
And
no, you won't.
We'll start the don't watch WWE wrestling ever again.
No, you won't. You will not throw your laptop out the door because of men in stretchy pants. It's not happening.
Whatever.
I said my piece. Next night of Raw, let's give a little backstory here. So they did show a backstage segment that I omitted intentionally because I kind of wish they didn't show this. God, WWE, sometimes this stuff's so overproduced. They kill the element of surprise. You see the Miz and MVP talking. So clearly, her business is going to get involved in helping the Miz cash in on this show. You give your finish away. I don't like when they do that.
No.
Like, it's like the whole Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. We understand these guys have been friends for 20 years, and at some point, yes, we're going to get a feud between the two of them. But I don't need Keith Lee or someone else saying, when are you going to turn your partner? When are you going to do it? Huh? What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do? I don't trust you. When are you going to do it? Like, just and you can tell, you can preach story all you want. It's not a good one when you keep tipping your hand. Okay. Didn't like that. Next night on Raw, Miz is having this big celebration. He's got balloons, he's got Morrison. This is great. And out comes Bobby Lashley and says, all right, what about the agreement we had? You're going to give me a title shot. Sorry, we don't say title shots in WWE. An opportunity. That's the word they're supposed to use. Not supposed to use title shot. Sorry. My mistake. I don't work for WWE, so I'll call it a championship title match. What?
So you're going to get a phone call from someone from WWE for misusing the word title shot to opportunity.
Yeah, it's an opportunity at the title. And they did this whole gimmick where, you got till an hour from now, or I'm gonna wipe the floor with you, and it'll be awesome. He comes out, Miz stalls for more time. I can't do it. I'm not ready. I got so much stuff going on. Shayna O'Mac comes out, and Shayna O'Mac says, "Hey, I think we should do a match next week." Then Braun Strowman comes out. He's very upset about not getting included in this thing, in this Elimination Chamber match that was last night. And so Shane McMahon said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have Braun Strowman take on Bobby Lashley on Raw tonight. If Braun Strowman can beat Bobby Lashley, we're going to have a triple threat match next week for the championship with The Miz. And it's inferred that if Bobby Lashley can win, it will be a one-on-one match. And Bobby Lashley works like a face in this match. As far as just clean victory, no cheap shots. And maybe that's because Braun Strowman is being booked as a heel right now. I also believe WWE doesn't care about faces and heels right now, which you can have your opinion on if that's good or bad, whatever. But he wins clean, and it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus The Miz on Raw on March 1st, first Raw of March. And it's noted that Drew McIntyre was not on Raw at all, probably for the first time in a year. Where he just wasn't on the show at all. So, is he going to get involved in this match, or is he going to be a good boy and not get involved in this match? So the big thing you got to wonder going into WrestleMania, is it all about the chase of Drew getting his title back? And what are the possibilities of who he's going to go through? I still want to see him and Sheamus at Mania. I think that match would be great. If they use The Miz as a transitional champion just to give it to Lashley, I don't like that. I'm not saying I don't think Bobby Lashley. I'm not saying Bobby Lashley isn't a credible guy to be WWE champion. And at this point in his career, I would not mind to see him have a run. I think it'd be great. The guy's been a physical specimen. He had that little hiatus with WWE that lasted quite a bit. So I guess the word little is probably not appropriate, but I would love to see him get a title run. But the timing of Miz cashing in, I kind of wish they would have waited till either after Mania or maybe after the match WrestleMania. That would have been kind of cool. Like, not quite Seth Rollins, but a little different.
Right. I think it would have been better. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Money in the Bank cash-ins in the summer where there's not that much going on in wrestling. And I feel
not much going on right now.
Well, I mean, the true, but
those are always better when you have a crowd to do it. I wish they would have just extended it, and they could have used them. They could have used what they could have done. Because it's a whole, if you have a year from now, who's going to enforce that rule? He can still hang on to that briefcase as long as he wants. They could say, it's a year from when he officially won it, which is in October. They could have done that. How cool would it have been if you had two guys with freaking briefcases running around?
That would have been hilarious.
It'd been great. I don't understand the timing of this. Happy for The Miz. He's a nice guy. He's always been nice every time I've interacted with him. But I think the timing's off. Do the Bad Bunny thing with him and Morrison and Priest at Mania. That's fine. I think that'll be fun. We all know Bad Bunny's the top merchandise seller for the company in 2021. No, I'm not kidding.
It's still early, Steve. It's still early.
It's still a fact.
Early in the process.
It's still a fact. At any point this year that one of your own guys is being outdrawn by Bad Bunny. So that was Elimination Chamber. Yeah. The next show I want us to break down will actually be a show that's going to be happening in a week from now. AEW Revolution. Tim,
AEW.
you gonna check this out?
AEW. Oh, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm a little bummed it's on a Sunday night and not a Saturday night.
Dude, I'm pumped it's on Sunday.
I know you're pumped because you don't gotta wake up at 4 a.m. the next day. Or see, I gotta be at work at 4 a.m.
No, I don't.
I know the roles reversed. Haha. So we'll definitely check this show out like we did checked out the last one. I want to go over the
absolutely.
I'm going to go over the card for that in a moment. There was a pretty big AEW newsworthy I want to mention. Former WWE superstar known as the Big Show, Paul White, has signed a long-term deal with AEW. He's All Elite. They social announced they will pull a full screen together. It says Paul White is All Elite. On Wednesday, it was big buzz on Wednesday. I don't know if it helped the ratings or not. I don't really look at ratings. Don't really care about ratings, but I'm sure that's why it was done. AEW announced signing on Twitter that he would sign a long-term deal with the company. White will serve as the commentator on AEW's newest show, AEW Dark Elevation, which is going to start airing Monday nights at 7 p.m. on AEW's YouTube channel. The show will highlight AEW established and rising stars, as well as welcome some of the top independent wrestlers in the country. The press release also states that White will be an in-ring competitor. In the press release, White puts over what AEW has accomplished and the value of having AEW Dark to hone your skills. Quote, "It's been an amazing to watch what AEW has built in just a couple of years. AEW Dark is an incredible platform to hone the skills of up-and-coming wrestlers, but I also love that established AEW talent can build their personalities and showcase themselves in new ways on Dark. It's no exaggeration when they say that AEW is boundless," that's end quote. I find it very interesting that he is going to be doing some in-ring stuff. They did say that he will show up on Dynamite next Wednesday. Tim, who's going to be on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday?
I won't be. I didn't get a contract offer to show up in Jacksonville this Wednesday. But I believe Mr. Shaquille O'Neal is showing up.
And all I can think about is how they were going to do that match between Shaquille O'Neal and Big Show, that WrestleMania, and Shaq pulled out.
You know it's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to necessarily do the match, but there's definitely going to be a confrontation. It's going to happen.
Oh,
at least
sure.
they're at least going to lock eyes, and we'll see what they do with it. But I've always loved the Big Show, Paul White. I'll never forget and Michael Cole on the call when they first went, "That's Paul White. That's Paul White," because they didn't know what they wanted to call him yet when they first debuted him. I think I've had so much fun listening to sound bites of him over the year with the big screen. I'll never forget when he knocked out the referee and he got disqualified. And he's just yelling at Scott Armstrong. "You know me, Scott. You know me. I wouldn't do that power wrestling. It was an accident. It was an accident." And if he's got an opportunity to do something cool here, if he doesn't feel he's being utilized properly in WWE, good for him. Okay. Ric Flair was quoted saying he was shocked that he went over to AEW this week. So good for him.
I'm not surprised because look, WWE is also based in Florida, but Tony Khan's going to pay you more money. What Vince McMahon's going to pay you. I'm going to answer that phone call too if I was the Big Show.
At this point, I don't think it's about money with the Big Show. It's about what am I doing? I'm on a Legends contract. I get used to get beat up or put other people over. Clearly, he's wanted to do some sort of commentary for a while now. And with this deal, he's going to have a chance to do it. So, all AEW is doing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you haven't really had any giants do color commentary. JBL was a bigger dude, but he wasn't he wasn't a 7-foot monster like Paul White is. So I think the fact that he's going to go over there, go to TNT, and the nostalgia of that's where the Giant first debuted on American television for professional wrestling. You know, I love it, and I'm excited to see what Paul White's going to do, not only for that AEW brand, but how is he going to be behind a microphone doing wrestling commentary?
We're gonna find out. I don't put as much stock in the whole TNT thing. Who cares what happened 20 years ago?
I mean that's why Sting's there. I mean,
Sting's there because it's an opportunity, dude. If they were on the Disney Channel, he'd still be there. Okay,
that's a thing.
My point: it doesn't matter the letters on the freaking TV. The opportunity calls. The opportunity calls. Okay, that's my point. I just want to pull up the card as it stands for Revolution. If you want to continue with your point there about being wrong.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know. I mean, the reason why Sting's on W was because their thinking was, all right, Sting was wrestling on TNT and Turner, you know, in the 90s, and especially during WCW's heyday. So, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I like the move. You know, I mean, it's nice to see Sting on TV doing something, and he's going to be wrestling at this next pay-per-view, I believe.
Tony Khan doesn't own TNT. If Tony Khan owned TNT, had owned TNT, I would agree with you. But he doesn't own TNT. He just has a television show that's on TNT. That's all. That's my point. I just think people are putting too much stock in the whole, TNT, he was here 20 years ago. Okay. I don't buy that. I just want to run through the card they have so far, okay? Let's see here. God,
go.
It's a lot of matches. Oh, guys, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna start 8 o'clock. This thing's not gonna go off till freaking after midnight. Young Bucks defending the tag team championship against Chris Jericho and MJF. Team Taz, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks taking on Darby Allin and Sting. I think it's supposed to be a street fight. Yeah, there it is. Street fight. Hiraku Shida will defend the AEW Women's Championship against the winner of the tournament. You gotta love tournaments. Adam Page taking on Matt Hardy on a big money match. The winner will receive the loser's 2021 first quarter earnings. That's big money, Matt Hardy, by the way. Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, Penta El Zero Miedo, Lance Archer, Preston 10 Vance, or Max Caster, and one other guy are going to take on a Face of the Revolution ladder match for a future TNT Championship match. Okay. This match should be at the end, so I'm going to come back to it. Miro and Kip Sabian are going to take on Best Friends, which is Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor in a tag match. And we got Bear Country, which is Bear Boulder and Bear Bronson, taking on Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, taking on Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, taking on Inner Circle, Santana and Ortiz versus the Butcher and the Blade versus Private Party in a casino tag team royal for a future tag team championship match. And in your main event, Tim, for the AEW World Championship, a rematch. First time we got a champion get a rematch, by the way. Jericho never got his rematch. Kenny Omega defends the AEW title with Don Callis, of course, taking on Jon Moxley in an exploding barbed wire death match for the AEW Championship. Holy crap. I may not be able to watch this thing live next Sunday.
I think this is stacking up to be a good card. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for this. Like, I'm excited for the main event, you know, Omega versus Moxley for the AEW title in a exploding barbed wire death match. That's going to be off the hook. Young Bucks against Jericho, MJF for the AEW tag team titles. That's going to be a good match. Darby Allin and Sting are going to fight Team Taz. I think that's going to be a sleeper match. Let's see, Adam Page and Matt
Put me to
Hardy.
sleep?
I love it. Well, it might put some people to sleep. But like Adam Page and Matt Hardy is going to be another good one. Like this card right now looks loaded. I'm very excited for this pay-per-view that's going to be happening next weekend.
Okay. I don't know what to make of it. I think it's just a lot of matches on a card. If they can fit it all in 3 hours, I'd be happy, but I don't think they will.
Oh no, this is definitely going over 3 hours.
It's Sunday night,
because
people.
You think about
gotta work the next day. Come on.
Yeah, working from home. But like you think about,
I don't get to
like
work from home on Mondays, you dick.
Oh, I'm an asshole now. Wow.
No, I said dick.
I haven't heard of that today.
I said dick.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm that too, so it's fine. But this is looking like going to be a very good show for AEW.
Well, I thought the last show was pretty good. I liked the last show. I thought it was pretty good. I think the death match is gonna be stupid. Those matches are stupid. I'm not. There's no way around me sugarcoating at this point. I love Jon Moxley, and I think Omega's okay. I don't think he's as good as people say he is. I think he's a good wrestler. I think he's worthy of being a championship guy. I'm not saying he's this 27.5 star guy that everything he touches turns to gold. But I'll tell you, one of the best things AEW has done since they've been around is get this Don Callis guy on TV. He doesn't even work for them. It's amazing. He's an Impact Wrestling guy. Okay, Don Callis.
Yeah,
his segments are freaking money. Okay.
Oh, they are.
Freaking tinted sunglasses every time he's messing with Marvez in the back, the backstage reporter. I mean, they're totally booking Omega as this. It's not smart booking, but with how Callis is pulling it off, it makes it entertaining. Yes, wrestling can be entertaining, people. It doesn't have all to be freaking blood and guts and flips and stupid submission holds and underselling DDTs and
nonsense.
Kicks. Okay? It can be entertaining. Pardon. They're booking Omega as this oblivious guy who's being manipulated by Don Callis, and he is amazing. You got the Young Bucks killed. Oh, we gotta get out there. And then Callis like, no, champ, you just stay back here. We'll get the Good Brothers out there. They stroll out there. Let's walk out there. I mean, that's great. That's great booking. Excuse me, not booking, but
by the way,
I just think they're not handling Kenny Omega the right way. I think they should just make him a straight up heel, not this tweener. I'm still friends with the Young Bucks, but screw you, Jon Moxley. Go on.
By the way, I think the Good Brothers are going to be in the Casino Tag Team Royal match for a future AEW World Tag Team title match. I think it makes too much sense to not put the Good Brothers in. And like, what I love about AEW is I love the fact that they're cross promoting with other companies. Like with them and TNA or Impact Wrestling right now, I think it's fantastic.
It's different. I like it. It's great for all those guys helping each other. And for people out there, we think they would do it with WWE. Well, it would not benefit WWE. So no, I don't think you'll see it happen. But it's good for all those other guys.
Right, like WWE doesn't really need it. They don't really need like that cross promotion. Like, yeah, the other smaller companies, absolutely, it makes sense.
Because it kind of brings you back to the territory days. You would have guys from one promotion go to the other promotion, bring their title over there. And, it's unique. You got the NWA Women's Champion who's consistently been on AEW. You got the Impact Wrestling Tag Champions who've consistently been on AEW. You had a bunch of AEW guys show up on Impact Wrestling last week. I think it's cool. It's unique. I'm not going to say they're a quote unquote better show than anything WWE is doing because at this point they're just not comparable. They're
not comparable.
They're just two different shows. And I just don't like the people that want to go out of the way and just bash everything that WWE's done over this past year and over the top praise everything AEW has done this past year. I mean, AEW has not been the best show it could be. And WWE is not as bad as people are trying to make it sound like it is. I know that there's a certain website out there that just had their awards come out recently, and it was 100% pro AEW and completely anti WWE. And when people criticize the awards, I've seen people say, "Oh, well, the viewers vote on it." I'm like, okay, well, viewers are stupid too. Okay.
Right.
I mean, how you didn't book the worst storyline as Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins is beyond me. That was awful. Yeah, but what WWE did with this Thunderdome thing, I think was revolutionary this year. And to completely ignore that and say, "Oh, that means nothing," that's just not fair to them. And to say the most disgusting thing a promotion did, that was an actual category. It said WWE laying off people. I'm like, okay, this is the business, people, and layoffs happen. And I don't want anyone to ever get laid off, but it does happen. Okay, so there's probably 100 people who get laid off by a company every year that you don't even notice. So let's stop just going after WWE because you think Vince McMahon is out of touch. Well, I'd say that Vince McMahon's track record is probably right more than that's wrong. And to allow a winner of a Booker of the Year to be Tony Khan, that's insulting. I don't even know why it was a category. There's no true bookers anymore anyway. When you think about it. WWE doesn't have a booker. They just have a guy who has final say. There's a difference.
Right.
But, Tim, was there anything else you wanted to bring up on today's show before we wrap the show up? I know we went pretty long today, but we haven't been talking in a while.
Yeah, because, someone became a statistic during the pandemic. Yeah. But, no, it's great to talk about wrestling. Yeah, well, that's true. But it's great to be back talking wrestling with you viewers. We're back. It's Wrestlemania season slowly approaching. Spring. We're recording this on a Sunday, and it's about 6:00, and there's still the sun outside here in the mountains of Virginia. So it's a good day. It really is.
There's something I do want to talk about before we get off here. Let me just make sure my wife hasn't blown my phone up because I've probably gone over my time today. Okay. She has not at this time. Let me check this out real quick. State's going to lose Iowa. Sweet. So since the last time we did a show, we didn't have a chance to talk about the Cleveland Browns absolutely taking the boots to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a primetime playoff game without their head coach, Tim. Put the phone down, look at me like a man, and let's enjoy this. The Browns had zero chance to win this game by national media. Zero. Whoops. The Steelers makes Ben Roethlisberger cry on the sideline, sitting all by himself. How beautiful was that game? 28-0 start.
I mean, as a Browns fan, it was great. The fact that the Browns jumped out to that early lead, and they just dominated from kickoff to the game ended. So it was great. It was a nice reward for Browns fans who, let's face it, they all suffered misery for over 20 years, and now you're a legit NFL playoff contender again. And hopefully this season they have a chance to make it to the AFC title game and hopefully go to the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history. And plus, too, that's also where I met my girlfriend watching the Browns game. So it was a win-win situation for me.
Good, man. It was a very, very good season. And then, of course, somehow the Browns being the Browns, they found a way to be in that game that, once again, they were supposed to have no chance in. I don't care who got hurt. All I know is the Browns were in it at the end. And that was quite the thrill ride there at the end. Very, very fun season. 12 wins in 1 year. How fun was that? That was great. Kevin Stefanski wins Coach of the Year, deservingly so. And I'm just curious to see how they. The Browns have made the playoffs before. The Browns have had a winning season before, but they've never done it back-to-back seasons since they've been back. So I'm really curious to see how they bounce back, how they respond, how our quarterback responds, which I think we have a pretty good one, quite frankly. The reason I did this whole Baker Mayfield challenge beginning of the season, Tim, is because I was sick and tired of the freaking negative. After the guy had one bad year, I didn't think I thought it was unfair the way people were saying stuff. So that's why I did the whole Baker Mayfield challenge. And then I started thinking my liver is a little more important than a couple of bad throws. So that's why I stopped doing it. But the idea behind it was, that's my quarterback, I'm going to support him. We've had a lot worse quarterbacks we've given a lot more time to as a fan, let's give him more of a chance. Okay, this guy's played basically 3 full seasons, hasn't gotten hurt, he's played all those games. They got a quarterback, and I think they should sign him long term. I would be in favor of that. What's the alternative? Do what other teams do and find other transitional quarterbacks? Yeah, you can pick up the option all you want, but I'm saying pick the option up and get this guy signed to a contract extension. It's not going to take effect till after the fifth year happens anyway. Just get him, end the speculation, end the rumors. You've got a guy. You want to play this game like Tennessee's doing? Oh, yeah, you think you're going to win with Ryan Tannehill? After you drafted a guy number 2 overall and that didn't pan out for you? Just sign him. Get him. He's your guy. He's the best guy they've had in 20 years. It's not even close. Tim.
I agree.
There's my soapbox for the day. Baseball is back today. Spring training officially got going today. I'm very happy about that. There's a really good moment in the Baltimore Orioles game. Trey Mancini, who didn't play last year because he was battling some sort of cancer, got a standing ovation by the fans in attendance. So that was a really good moment today in spring training baseball. Baseball's back. I'm very excited about that. Tim, I sent the keeper list. I renewed the keeper league, so make sure you put your keepers in, okay?
All right, you'll tell me the day before the draft, like it usually happens every year.
Well, you gotta set the keepers first, then we'll do the draft. That's the way it works. It's been going for many years, Tim. We've been doing this for many years.
Actually, I made the playoffs.
Don't get cute with me. Not in baseball.
I actually did make the playoffs. So I think I'm actually going to try again this season, like I did last year, and actually try to win the league and be champion.
Well, good.
Or you'll text me in like June, say like, "Hey, can you actually set your lineup?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot."
Oh, I forgot. You can do it all on your phone now, right? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. So we will be back next week, hopefully reviewing an episode of AEW Revolution. That'll be the time we talk to you guys next. Talk about their show. See if John Moxley still has all his fingers left. Or, stuff like that. So,
by the way, we are getting closer to the NCAA tournament, and I cannot be more excited. We'll talk about that coming up.
We haven't had it 2 years, dude. It's madness, baby. It's madness.
Because, Steve, we all know Ohio State's overrated, and West Virginia's going to win.
Why is Ohio State overrated?
I'm just reading Twitter right now.
They're losing games. I think they've exceeded their expectations this year, quite frankly. It's just, at the end of the day, this is still a football school that's doing well in basketball. Okay? Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as I've been paying attention to them, they've always been football heavy, obviously, and the basketball team's always been pretty competitive. It's funny, Big Ten's always supposed to be the best conference in basketball every year, or so they say. Ohio State seems to always be up there. They're probably going to lose their number 4 ranking after dropping 2-3 games in a row now after today's result. But, maybe that'll be a better path for them. I don't know. I know a lot of times whenever they get good, I fall in this trap of picking them. I would always pick them all those years of Mata. And, I don't know which way I'm going to go this year. So, I'm sure it's not pushing Michigan. Jeez. So, all right, Tim. We will do another show next week. Hopefully.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Until next time, everyone, take care. Yeah, that guy's got our podcast going on too, if you catch my drift. See you guys.
See ya.